Hi there. I want to talk a minute about your physical presence as a leader when you're engaged in leadership, whether it's in the work environment or your community, or even at home with your family and friends or your spouse or children, wherever people are looking to you for leadership. The difference between what you have to say and how you say what you have to say. I call it your context. Now, if you're engaged in leadership or you're a coach, maybe you're in Vistage. I speak to Vistage groups, business leaders, maybe you're a Vistage chair, or just in the leadership development world. You may have heard of this study done by a guy named Dr. Albert Mehrabian at UCLA in the latter half of the 20th century, where he determined that when people communicate, your words only impact others at 7%. 7% of the impact you make on somebody else when communicating with them is what you have to say. The other 93% is how you say it. It's your body language. It's the tone of your voice. It's your eye contact. It's facial expressions and gesturing. These things impact other people 14 times more significantly than your words themselves. And if you want a really simple example of that, just think about going to the office in the morning and walking past everybody and saying good morning. And you're going to get a variety of different responses. Some people are going to say good morning, and some people are going to say, how are you? And some people are going to say, what's up? Or how's it going? Or nice to see you. They're all going to say it differently. Someone may look you right in the eye and smile and say, good morning. And somebody else may just grunt a little bit. Hey, what's up? Somebody else may keep their eyes on their cell phone the whole time and just give you a glance. And somebody, if they're having a bad day, a bad drive to work, an argument at home, or before they got there, may bark, good morning. That face all scrunched up. At the end of the day, you're probably not going to remember with much precision who said good morning and who said what's up and who said how are you and who said nice to see you. But you're going to remember really well who looked you in the eye and smiled and who didn't look up from their phone and who barked at you. We are very, very good at assessing others on what I call their context, the full total of all that non-verbal communication, and really, really bad at assessing our own. Most human beings tend to go through life, most of the time, unintentional about what their physical language is when they communicate, and almost entirely unaware of it. So what's the impact of that? And if you're in the coaching world, as I said, you may have heard this 93.7% thing. So you have these percentages, but so what? What do you do with that? Well, if you're not being intentional about your physical presence when communicating with somebody, you're not just leaving 93% of your ability to make an impact with somebody off the table. You're not even just leaving it up to chance. You're leaving it to the dictates of your emotions. We as human beings have events happen around us all the time. Thoughts go through our head and they create emotions inside us constantly, all day long, whether it's a big thing like a fight with somebody or a little thing like you just remember that last conversation you had with a friend that didn't go well. It creates emotions inside of us. And our emotions come out through our bodies as action. And often the action, if it's a negative emotion, pardon me, makes your face squint, or you cross your arms unintentionally, or you give a dismissive hand gesture, you roll your eyes, or you get excited and your voice goes very, very fast and gets high. You get angry and your voice goes low and your eyebrows come down. Emotions are doing that to our bodies all the time. And if we're not paying attention to that, if we're not paying attention to what those emotions are inside us and how they're coming out through us, if they're coming out through us on their own without our awareness and intent, they're not just not supporting the words that we may be saying to somebody, they're actually undermining what we may be saying to somebody. They're breaking down an alignment between how we want to deliver ourselves to others and how they're actually receiving us, which makes our message harder to hear, which makes our leadership ineffective. So that's an introduction to the concept of context and how your physical presence, when you start to study and master what and how you're feeling and how that's coming out through your body as words and actions, when you have intentionality around that, can greatly increase building relationship with others and the effectiveness of your leadership.